पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. By the infinite grace of Lord Krishna and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we are studying the Bhagavadgita. We are in the fourth chapter, the Jnana Yoga, renunciation of action in knowledge. We are studying the 19th shloka. The context is Krishna says, one who sees action in inaction and inaction in inaction, he is the wisest man among the human beings. And he is to be termed as having done all kinds of works. This is the meaning of the shloka number 18. What does it mean by that? Atman doesn't do any work. One who has realized Atman, on whose mind dwells on Atman, even though he is doing work, he very well understands that work is done through body and mind. So the action cannot be done by Atman. Really, nothing is done by Atman. This kind of knowledge makes him understand or recognize inaction of the Atman in the action, and action in inaction. Suppose one withdraws from the work, he says, I am resting. What does it mean by rest? There is no rest at all. The indriyas, the mind are still working. It is just a withdrawal from the work. The withdrawal is also an action. So what ordinary people think in action, the wise man sees action. So wise man thinks differently, exactly in opposite way as that of the ordinary people. Wise man knows that Atman is superimposed by the ignorant. That superimposition is called in Vedanta as the adhyasa, the workings of the anatma, body and mind, thinking and movement are all superimposed on the atma. That's why one thinks, I am going, I am thinking, etc. And also the qualities of the atma is superimposed on anatma. That is why one gets the wrong illusion that body is full of consciousness, mind is consciousness. In reality, mind is not conscious, the body is not conscious. The consciousness belongs to only Atman. So the correct idea is exactly opposite to the comprehension done by the ordinary people. So in order to show that, an allegory is given by Krishna, a kind of example So one who sees action in inaction and inaction in action, such person is the wisest of the men. Buddhiman manusheshu. So buddhi here means the discrimination. It is not the ordinary intellect here. Dhiman, Upanishad says, Dhiraha, Kashchid Dhiraha. Kathopanishad says, there is a wise man, he withdraws his mind, or rather he withdraws with all the senses. The senses are naturally outgoing, he withdraws them into himself in order to perceive the Atman. Kashchid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat. And it is the real opening of the eye, opening to the knowledge, seeing the knowledge, seeing the reality. It is real opening of the eye, avrutta chakshuhu, because he wants immortality, he wants nothing but immortality. Such person is the wisest of the human beings. Sa manusheshu buddhiman. Sa yuktaha, he is a real yogi. Yogi is one who has controlled the senses. Yogi is one who has controlled the mind, who is able to concentrate his mind on his desired object effortlessly. Here the desired object is Atman. He concentrates only on the Atman. Krishna karma kat. Even while he is doing every kind of work, he is established in the yoga. Yoga is not something to be compartmentalized. It is not exclusive from the ordinary works. We do all kinds of works, but you should not think yoga is something exclusive from that. Yoga has to be practiced, whether it is jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, every kind of yoga has to be practiced while we are doing our day-to-day works. So if we can do work without attachment and without kind of hatred, without raga and dvesha, and that is called the yoga. It's full of concentration and working for the sake of work, just to purify our mind, and that makes every work a yoga. So if we can do work, all kinds of work, without attachment or the repulsion, dvesha, fixing the mind fully on the work at hand and desiring only the purity of mind, doing every work as an offering to God, and that work will become yoga. So it is possible to be a yogi even while doing every kind of work. And that is one hint we get here in this shloka. And such person, the shloka number 19 continues, Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagdha karmanam tamahuhu panditam buddhaha. Samarambhaha means actions here that have commenced. So every action has got a beginning and the end. Every action has to be associated with kind of accessories. For example, eating. So there is what to eat, and through what we eat, through hand, that is instrument, and what we eat, that is an object. These accessories are involved in every kind of action. And every action has got a beginning and the end. Samarambha means that which has got a beginning. Here it is to be understood as the action. For whom every action, Varjitaha, divide out, bereft out. Kama and Sankalpa. Kama means the desire and Sankalpa means the cause of the desire. See, in another place the Krishna says Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman. The Kama is something born out of Sankalpa. Sankalpa is a resolution. Suppose we see hundreds of things in the market, our mind thinks about a particular thing, one or two things that we want to purchase. And that kind of resolution is the origin of the desire for the objects. That is what's called sankalpa here, resolution. So, kama and sankalpa. Kama is the result, the sankalpa is the cause. All our actions as ordinary people have got these two, kama and sankalpa. We want something, we make a resolution and we develop a desire for it and then we go for it and we make an effort to get it. That is called action. Shankaracharya says, avidya, kama and karma. The ignorance leads to kama and kama leads to karma, the action. You cannot see in ordinary world any action performed without the kama and sankalpa. Every action is performed. That is the state of ignorance, avidya. In the case of the wise man about whom we are deliberating here, he is devoid of the kama and sankalpa. His action doesn't have kama and sankalpa. That means in the words of Swami Vivekananda, he works for the sake of work alone. He does not want anything from the work. He doesn't desire the result and he doesn't have that agency that I am doing. Because he has realized the truth, he has realized the Atman. Atman is Nishkriya, he doesn't have any work at all. For outside it looks like he is working, but inside there is no work at all. Because work needs a kind of impetus, instigation. That instigation, impetus and desires are not there in the wise man or the realized soul about whom Krishna is speaking here. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam, all his karmas are as if burnt by the Jnanagni. Here Jnana is compared to the Agni, the fire. The fire burns everything. There is no element in this world which can burn the fire. Fire is also said to be the purest of the things in this world. There is no purest thing than this fire. Fire consumes everything, it remains pure. All kind of filth, all kind of dirt, it consumes it, burns away. But still it remains pure, immaculate. In the same way, jnana of Atma, jnana that I am Brahman, I am pure consciousness, I am not the body, I am not the mind. That pure knowledge consumes all the karmas. Of course, there is a trace of karma through which the body has already manufactured or body has already been produced, and that karma only remains because it is already in action. The result has already started. That is called prarabdha karma. Except that all future actions, the action that are going to be produced results in the future will be destroyed. Here the destruction of karma means the destruction of the tendencies with us. All the tendencies, samskaras, are produced due to our previous action. Some have already resulted, have given result, some are giving result and some are going to be give result. So we cannot do anything which have already given result, produced result. and we can't do anything which are giving result. Already result has started, and such actions are called the that you have begun already. And there is another kind of action that are going to be give result in the future, agami. So they are all kinds of future actions. The origins of the future actions lie in the tendencies. They will get destroyed. Jnanagni dagdha karmanam, in whom all the karmas, here karmas are to be understood as the traces, the tendencies. Only prarabdha karma is in action, which has already giving result. The Jnanagni burns up everything. To him, Buddhaha, the wise men, the realized souls, call him Pandita. Shankaracharya elsewhere makes a interesting definition of the Pandita. Pandita means Panda Asya iti Pandita, one who has Panditya. That is the knowledge. Knowledge is called the Panda. So one who has knowledge of Atman, he is called the Pandita. So he is the real Pandita. So we have hundreds and hundreds of Pandits in our country, and even the cook is also called Pandit in northern India. That is only for the namesake, that's all. Real Panditya lies in the knowledge of Atman. Such is the declaration, or such is the opinion of the wise men who have realized the soul. Here very interestingly, Buddhaha Pandita Mahu. Only realized soul, only the wise men can understand the significance, the greatness of another great man. And ordinary people cannot understand. That is also shown by the Krishna. Next we will go to the 20th sloka. Continuing, Krishna says, how a jnani does work. Why Krishna is described in detail the mode of work done by the jnanis. We are not jnanis. How we can connect with these ideas? The way of understanding, the way of knowing is, we are also should become jnanis. With becoming jnanis, we have to work. Often people may get confused that jnana and karma are in opposition to each other. They are contradictory to each other. If one is jnani, one cannot do work. That kind of assumption is there. And people say the Advaita teaches that. But here in this chapter, it is said even jnani has to continue to do the work, but not in the way an ordinary people does. He should do work without kama and sankalpa. So what becomes the natural traits of a jnani? It becomes the qualities that should be developed by the ordinary people, aspirants like that. So when it is said here, jnani is kama sankalpa varjitaha, one is devoid of the kama and sankalpa, and we should strive to give up or to reduce the kama, the desires. We should develop habit of working without such selfish motives. That is the sadhana for us. So these qualities are not just to mentioning for the sake of mentioning them. It is to teach the sadhaka that how one should go about doing karma yoga. Because there is absolutely no contradiction in Bhagavadgita as far as karma yoga and jnana yoga is concerned. As I said in the previous classes, so one should become a jnani in his mind, full of discernment, discrimination about Atman and Paramatman, establishing oneself in Atman, realizing the truth, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am the Atman. So one should continue to do the work. This is the ideal of the Bhagavad Gita. This idea is spelled out in the slokas that we are reading now. Tektva karma pala asangam. Tektva, having given up karma phala. Asangam. Sangha means attachment. Asanga means detachment. Asanga means once again it is attachment. So karma phala plus asanga. Karma phala sangam. This is how we have to divide this word. Tektva. When we analyze, all our actions are motivated by the results. So we don't do anything without that motivation or without that instigation, without the desire for the results. But in the case of the wise man, in the case of the Pandita, he has given up the desire for the karma phala, or he has given up the attachment for the karma phala. As I told you, asanga is the attachment, sangha is attachment, asanga is detachment, asanga is once again attachment. Asanga, attachment towards the karma phala. Then what is the problem? As I told you, desire is the instigating factor in ordinary works. Desire is the result of the ajnana. Because Atman cannot have any desire. Atman always feels it is complete. Purna madaha, purna midam, purnat, purna mudachyate. It is always complete. When we feel we are incomplete, then only the desires arise. I am incomplete without the house. I am incomplete without the car. I am incomplete without that watch. Then desire arises for a house or a car or the watch. That incompleteness, feeling kind of a lacuna, emptiness in us, that is the result of the ignorance. If we identify ourselves with Atman, we feel oneness with the whole existence. We are not different from the whole existence, we are one with it. Sarva bhutastam atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani. I am one with the whole existence, I am everywhere. I am in all beings, and all beings are in me. There is no difference between all beings and me. I am one with them, they are one with me. This is the true sign of the realized soul, and there is no room for any kind of desire. So if we want to give up that desire, we have to have the knowledge. A person of knowledge alone can give up the desire, the attachment. Here attachment word, asanga, is also very important. We are attached to things. I am attached to the car, I am attached to the house. That's why I have a strong desire to possess a car. When I go to the showroom, I see a car, I am attached to that. Without attachment, the desire will not come. So attachment always happens between mind and the object. Atman has nothing to do with that. Senses make it possible to have mind in contact with the objects. So there is mind one side and there are objects on the other side, and the mind becomes the connecting medium. So mind makes it possible, senses make it possible for the mind to connect with the objects. That is called attachment. So in the case of Atman, there is no such kind of attachment. So the best way or the only way to give up all kinds of attachment is to realize that we are Atman, we are Brahman, we are the reality. This is the meaning of karma pala sangam tektva. Then what is the result if we can give up the attachment towards the objects of the world? Nitya truptaha. Truptaha means contented. We often feel contentment when we finish our meal, we feel contentment until after 3 hours or 4 hours. Again, we feel the pang of hunger. Thus, that kind of contentment is transitory, it's not permanent. So, you will not get permanent contentment, permanent satisfaction in this world. It's impossible. That's why Buddha says, dissatisfaction is the fact we find in the whole world. So dukkha is often translated as sorrow in Buddhism, but the scholar says dissatisfaction is the correct translation. We are not satisfied. We earn money, we are not satisfied. We earn position, we are not satisfied. The dissatisfaction troubles us until the end of our life. Dissatisfaction is a fact of life. To remove the dissatisfaction is the goal of the life, according to Buddha. So this trupta means one who doesn't have any kind of dissatisfaction because he is satisfied in Atman. So there is a beautiful word in Upanishad, Atma Trupti, Atma Kama, one who desires only Atman. One who only desires Atman is called Apta Kama. All his desires are fulfilled. All our desires can be fulfilled only in Atman. If we go for the worldly things, in worldly things our desire will not be fulfilled. In fact, the desires grow, leap and bound, resulting into further dissatisfaction. The man struggles and suffers from dissatisfaction until the last breath. And he again takes another birth because of the dissatisfaction and the kama, the desire. So desire and the dissatisfaction are complementary to each other. Where there is desire, there is dissatisfaction. Every kind of desire will lead to dissatisfaction. So what Buddha says is desire is the root cause of all the dukkha, dissatisfaction, sorrow. So another word for the dissatisfaction is the sorrow, misery. That is the way of the life. But in the case of Atmajnani, he is satisfied not momentarily, always, nitya trupta. Nitya word is a very important word here. Because Atman does not go change and Atman doesn't have any destruction. Atman always remains. So in Vedanta, Atman is called Anadi, Ananta. It has no beginning. That which has no beginning has no end at all. So if we realize that we are Atman, we become one that which has no beginning, which has no end, we are always satisfied. We are always contented. So when you are contented in the Atman, Atma Kama, Apta Kama, we will not need any support from the outside. That is the next word, Nirashrayaha. Ashraya means holding on to something. So I want to be happy, I want to hold on to something. Some means I will hold on to. I think money will satisfy me. So money is the means of the happiness. So throughout my life, making money becomes my goal. After making some money, I think position will make me happy. Then I will hold on to the position. The positions become the means for my happiness, and I will try to find happiness through the position. Like this, the life goes on. Every kind of external ashrayas. Ashraya means, as I told you, helping factors or the means will make us dissatisfied. They will not bring about satisfaction at all. Only Atman or the God can bring about eternal satisfaction. So, nirashraya means the external factors, the means of getting happiness, means of getting money. Money is a means to get happiness. It is an ashraya. To holding on that we try to be happy. So the wise man doesn't need money for his happiness. Wise man doesn't need prestige for his happiness. Wise man doesn't need sensual pleasure for his happiness. Because as we have already read, he is nitya trupta, always remains contented. So he is without support, without external support. Such person continues to do the work. It is wrong to say such person cannot do work or he should not do the work. A jnani also is a great worker. A good jnani is a good worker. A good karma jnana yogi is also a good karma yogi. That we should remember. That is the essence of the Gita. Karmani abhipravrittopi, even though he is engaged in karma, naiva kinchit karoti saha. You cannot term that karma as an ordinary kind of work. Because I told repeatedly that the ordinary karma involves desires, ordinary karma involves lot of effort on our part, because we are discontented, we are result oriented, so we are always anxious. So such kind of karma will lead to sorrow, dukkha, dissatisfaction, will not get us any happiness or the bliss. But in this case, it is not so. So you cannot call it as a karma at all. We read in Ramana Maharshi's life, Ramana Maharshi also would do some work in his ashrama. It is said he would go to the kitchen and dress the vegetables. Can you call it as a work? We cannot call it as a work at all, because he is not doing that work with any selfish motive. As we have read in the previous shloka, there is no kama, there is no sankalpa in this work. He has nothing to gain from that work. He is completely detached from this work. So such work cannot be called work at all. In reality, though apparently for the outsider, it looks as if Ramana Maharshi is doing some work. It is the jnani's work we have to understand. Karmani abhri pravrittopi, even though he is engaged in this work, naiva kinchit karoti saha. We have to understand that he is not doing anything, because he dwells in Atman. Our life, we dwell only in the body and mind. We are body consciousness or mind consciousness. Our plane of consciousness is in either body or the mind, at the most mind. But the consciousness, the awareness of the jnani lies in pure Atman, that is the real consciousness. So he may look like doing so many things outside, outwardly, but we cannot say he is doing a kind of work as we ordinary people do. That is how the great people like Swami Vivekananda did the work. That is how Sri Ramakrishna performs the work. In fact, Swami Vivekananda calls Sri Ramakrishna Karma Kathor. He was the embodiment of Karma Yoga. He was engaging in strenuous of the work. And if you read Sri Ramakrishna's life, from morning to evening, he was engaged in teaching his disciples, bestowing his grace on them, teaching them the rudiments, the essentials of spiritual life. It was a great work. So Sri Ramakrishna is an embodiment of Karma Yoga. Ramana Maharshi is an embodiment of Karma Yoga. Swami Vivekananda is an embodiment of Karma Yoga. He traveled almost half of the world, 120 years back, 30 years back. So such a person doesn't have any desire of the kind we have as ordinary people. Nirashihi yatachittatma tekta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kuruvan apnoti kilbisham. The next sloka is also wonderful. Ashaya. Desire means asha. Asha means desire. Nirashi, without desires. Perhaps he may have one desire, that is loka sangraha. See, another place Krishna says, loka sangraha mevartam sampashyan kartumarhasi. So even though you are jnani, you are bound to do karma for the sake of welfare of the people. Maybe that is the only desire they have. That desire cannot be called a desire at all. If we have desire to do good to the others, if we want to live for others, if our life is completely dedicated to the others, and that desire cannot be called desire at all. So, nirashihi, without desires. Shankaracharya goes on saying, goes to the such extent that he says that he doesn't have desire even for the maintenance of the body. He does not have the fear of death at all. He has no interest in even maintaining his body. Nirashihi, without desires. Yata chittatma, he has controlled his body and mind. Here Atma means the mind. Atma has number of meanings in Sanskrit. One of them is body. Sometimes the mind is also called Atma in some context. Yata chittatma, always his mind and the body are controlled. Senses are controlled. Sri Ramakrishna used to say the expert dancer never takes a false step. Suppose we are experts in something, in musician, he never sings wrongly. A wrong note will never come out of his mouth. So, this person, having practiced all through his life or in several lives, he has become so expert in controlling, there is no chance of loosening the indriyas, loosening the senses or the mind. He always keeps them under control. After realization, even mind is constantly flowing towards the Atman, there is no chance that he will lose his control. Yata chittatma, controlled with his mind and the body controlled. Tekta sarva parigraha, he doesn't have any possessions at all. Why he needs possession? He is in possession of the most valuable object in this world, that is Atman. So when he becomes Atma Kama, he will not have any other desires at all. He will become Akama. These are the words of the Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. One who desires Atma Kama, he will be completely satisfied with the Atma, that is Apta Kama he will become, and then he will be termed as Akama. He has no desires for anything else. Suppose we are full, so we are completely satisfied after a good meal. We don't want anything. Even the best of the delicacy, we say, I don't want. I am no longer interested. After 3 hours, once again we get hungry. Then we want the food once again. That kind of satisfaction is temporary. But here, eternally we are satisfied. We don't want anything as a possession, no possessions. Parigraha means possessions, craving for things that we require. Parigraha, sarva parigraha, all kinds of possessions, all kinds of belongings, takta, he has given up. Because He is completely satisfied in Atman and the Atman alone. Shariram kevalam kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. Kevalam shariram karma kurvan. This is very interesting. Even then, he seems to be working something. He seems to be doing something. He is not inactive. He is not be sitting idle. He will be acting. Why? What he is doing? For such kind of jnani, only one action is prescribed by the Shastras, the activity of begging. Why he has to beg? Because without begging, without getting food, he cannot maintain his body. To maintain the body, he is engaged in an action called begging. That is the only work he is doing. Shariram kevalam karma. Kevalam shariram. So another meaning for this is he is doing only physical work. His actions are all in the realm of the physical, that's all. That means for an outsider, he seems to be like working, but inside his mind, he is not at all working. His mind is completely merged in the Atman. Only his prarabdha karma, a trace of residual impressions in the mind are making him to do the karma, that's all. Because he has no attachment. Absolutely, he is devoid of attachment. That means physically looks as if he is doing karma, but mentally he is without work. Shariram kevalam karma kuruvan, and such karma will not get any results. Na apnoti kilbisham. Kilbisha means filth. Some kind of evil thing is called as filbisha or sin. Shankaracharya says both papa and punya both are kilbishas because both are factors that bind the soul. If we do papa, we go to certain lokas and we have to suffer the punishments there, and we have to come back to the human life once again to continue to do the karma. If we do some merits or the punya, we will go to the swarga, etc., and we enjoy the results of the karma, and we will come back once again to the human body. So both good and bad are the fetters to the karma soul. If the bad action is an iron fetter, in the words of Swami Vivekananda, if bad action is a iron fetter, iron chain, if the good action is a golden chain, that's all. Both bind the human soul. That do not allow human soul to get liberated, to know its real nature. To be free from both punya and papa, dharma and adharma, is the liberation or the moksha according to Vedanta. So here kilbisham means if you become a wise man, if you become a man of knowledge, and if you do the work, only that physical work, not at all doing mental work, or your work is not in the realm of mind at all, and if you do work only for the maintenance of the body, you will not be bound by either punya or the papa, good or the bad, merit or the demerit. Yadrucha labha santushtaha dvandvatitaha vimatsaraha samasiddhava cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. Already we have read Nitya Truptaha. A small description is given here what is Nitya Truptatva, what is meant by being content always. Always be happy in whatever we have. It has come unasked for. It is very important. If we seek something, we desire something, we get something, we pretend rather we are contented. In the heart of heart, we know we are not contented. We want more, we want more. If we get a car, we pretend that we are satisfied. We are not satisfied. We want a better car, more expensive car, maybe second car. If we buy the second car, maybe we want third car. There is no limit for this. So we desire something, we get it, still we are discontented. That is the way of this world. In the case of Jnani, Yadrucha, whatever comes unasked for. He does not desire anything, still he gets something. In the primary duty of a sannyasi is to go on begging from door to door, whatever he gets. In some houses he may get some delicacies. In some houses he may not even get that. Some bare rice he may get. In some other house he may get only scoldings. That is called yadrucha labha. Labha means gain that comes unasked for, whatever may be, good or bad, superior or inferior. Santushtaha, he is always satisfied with that. This is the one trait that is missing in the modern society. Why modern society people are so unhappy, dissatisfied? They don't have peace of mind because they always crave for something more. There is no satisfaction at all. I earn 10 lakhs. I am not satisfied. I am doing barely living, he writes in social media. Barely I am living out of 10 lakhs in Bangalore. There are hundreds of thousands of people in Bangalore who are living on 15,000, 20,000 rupees a month. Why people with high income, affluent society, belonging to affluent class of the people, still crave, still are dissatisfied? Because as I told you repeatedly, dissatisfaction is the way of the world. It is a fact. It is the truth, it is the reality of the world, as Buddha says again and again, dukkha. So often the dukkha is satisfied as, the translated as dissatisfaction. But in this case, whatever comes to him unasked for, he doesn't ask anything else. A sannyasi is not supposed to go to a house and ask for some jalebi, Mysore pak, no. He should just say, Om Namo Narayanaya, that's all. Whatever is given, he should be satisfied. Yadrucha labha santushtaha. Why he is yadrucha labha santushtaha? Because he has transcended all the dualities. We know what are the dualities are. In the second chapter, Sukha Dukkhe Same Krutva Labha Labhau Jaya Jayau. Sukha, Dukkha, happiness, misery, gain or failure to gain or losing something, Shita, Ushna, cold and heat, these are all dvandvas. They are the reality of this mundane universe. What we find is the jumbling juxtaposition of the dualities. Sometimes we suffer misery, sometimes we enjoy the happiness. Only for some time. Both are transitory, both are temporary. But this man has transcended that. How to transcend? identifying himself as Atman. Because in Atman there is no Dvandva at all. There is no cold, there is no heat, there is no misery, there is no happiness, there is no victory and there is no defeat. The sameness, samatva. That sama is Atman. Equipoise is what is called Atman. Vimatsaraha. There is no jealousy at all in him. He doesn't develop jealousy towards others. One of the main causes of our dissatisfaction is jealousy. To be jealous of others' progress. They have more money, they have more cars, they have more houses. I have only one car, they have two cars, so I am jealous, envious of them. This is the cause of the ignorance. This is the cause of the desire. Desire makes us to be envious of the others. The enmity or the jealousy will make us suffer. The suffering in the form of the jealousy. Suffering, misery in the form of the envy, being envious of others. How he can be without jealousy? Krishna continues, Samaha siddhau asiddhau cha. Siddha means if we gain something, that is called siddhi. If we lose something, that is called the asiddhi. Labha, alabha, that is called siddhi, asiddhi. In both conditions, he maintains same-sightedness. He remains same throughout. He will not be perturbed at all. Because, as I have told you repeatedly, he is Atma Kama. Since he is Atma Kama, he is Apta Kama. All desires are satisfied him. So he is Akama. He has no desires at all. So these are all the traits we can try to practice in our life. Lessening of the desires, lessening of the passions in our mind like anger, jealousy, hatred. It makes our life more tolerable, more comfortable. Otherwise, we will be living in the ocean of misery. That is called samsara. Samaha siddhava siddhau cha krutvapi na nibadhyate. The same idea. In the earlier shloka we read Kuruvan apnoti kilbisham. He will not get into a kind of evil even though he is performing action. He will not be bound by the action. Here it is said, even though he is working, he will not be bound. Na nibadhyate. Bound by the karma. The karma bondage. That is one of the important theories in the avidya realm, in Vedanta. In avidya, man develops tendencies, impressions in his mind, good or bad. That is due to his past karma. Good actions will make him develop good impressions, and the bad actions will make him develop the bad impressions. So our personality, our psyche is the bundle of the good and bad impressions that are stored from the immemorial birth. Who is the creator of that reservoir of the impressions? The reservoir of the impressions of action, our own action, is called karmashaya in yoga. So that karmashaya, reservoir of the good and bad impressions, will make us a good person or a bad person. Who transformed this into a good person? It is our own actions that we have done in the past. Who transformed our our personality into something bad one? It is our own making. So if we make ourselves, if we have made ourselves a bad person, we can undo it by developing good impressions. Good impressions can be developed by good actions. So it will continue, this cycle will continue. In order to reap the results of our actions, good or bad, we have to be born again. So the cycle continues. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Taking birth again and again. This is called karma cycle. So one would be free from karma cycle if we can realize Atman, if we can identify with our Atman, if we can be completely satisfied with our own Atman. This is called the bondage. So we often read in Vedanta books, bandhana. This is the bandhana. There is no bondage for the Atman. Atman is like a space. Nobody can bind this space. Nobody can bind the sky. Still we feel we are bound. We are bound because we identify ourselves with the body and mind. That is the only problem. What is sin in Vedanta? Vedanta has no sin. Swamiji says, if there is one sin, to think we are sinners is the sin. We are not. Swamiji speaks to the, addresses to the Western audience, American audience. You are not sinners. You are the heirs of immortality, the children of immortality. You are God themselves. You are the God whom you try to worship. That's what Vedanta Upanishad says. Tattvamasi, you are that, you are that. So Krishna continues in the shloka 23rd, Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasaha yajnaya acharatah karma samagram praviliyate. There are repetitions of the ideas here also. Gata Sangha, already we have read it. All his Sangha attachments are gone or vanished. When Gata Sangha, the attachments are gone, attachments are the bondages. If bondages are gone, then he will be free. That is called moksha, mukta, muktasya. Even while living in the body, he is called a mukta, the jivan mukta. Jnana avastita chetasaha, his mind is well established in the knowledge of Atman or the knowledge of God. It doesn't have any worldly aspirations, worldly desires or worldly attachments at all. If you fathom his mind, you will find God and God alone. That's what you find in Sri Ramakrishna. If you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna speaks about God. Sri Ramakrishna sings on God. Every page you will find only one idea, God, 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 God. God is the essence of life. God is the essence of the human life. Only God. So Sri Ramakrishna is the one best example, one whose mind is very well established in Atman or the God. Jnana, avastita, knowledge of God. Knowledge is not different from the object of knowledge in the higher level. Suppose if I say knowledge of God, God himself is knowledge. If I say knowledge of Atman, Atman is not different. Knowledge is not different. In the highest realm of consciousness, knowledge is not different from the object of knowledge or the knower, where the knower, the object of knowledge, and the knowledge merge into one pure consciousness, pure experience, anubhuti. That is the state of jnanavastita chetasaha. Hence he performs all actions in the spirit of yajna. Yajnaya charata karma. Yajna here means Vishnu. Sri Shankaracharya is very fond of quoting this. Yajno vai Vishnu. He performs all actions dedicated to God. Matkarma kritu matparamaha. In the 11th chapter, Krishna says, one has to perform all actions thinking that it is Lord's action, it is not my action. That is matkarma. And also the purpose, the motive behind the work, every kind of work is God Himself. Matmarma krut. Yajnaya charatastarma samagram praviliyate. Then there will be no karma cycle that I have described just few moments back. No punarapi jananam punarapinam, cycle of birth and death. He will be free from that. And karma melts away as if karma gets destroyed with all its results. Samagram, as Shankaracharya says, agra means pala. With its karma along with its results will get merged into, melts away, will get destroyed. Or karma along with the tendencies or the impressions in mind will get destroyed, melts away, as if melts away. There will be no rebirth at all. When there is no karma, there will be no rebirth at all. How the karma melts away, that Krishna describes in the next shloka. It is a very well-known shloka for us, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. That we will take up next week. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.